Okay, so basically, I'm sure everybody saw the video that I made, or most 5,500 people saw the video I made about, rich foreigner gets dumped or whatever by Filipina. The guy was nice enough to respond to my comment and email me and hop on a phone call with me. I believe we're both in the Philippines. His name's RJ, and he wants to tell the story from the horse's mouth, exactly what happened, rather than me reading a comment. And how you doing, RJ?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, cool. So you're in the Philippines now. You don't need to say exactly where you are, but I believe you're living in the Philippines as well.
I am in Cebu, correct.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, and so let's take it back to the beginning. If you don't mind, you don't need to say exactly where, if you met her on a dating site or whatever. Did you meet her online, or were you in the States, or how did this start?
Well, just to give you a quick backstory, I met a Filipina in California. She had come with her sister to do some work there, and I met her, and we ended up getting married. We were married for 18 years, have a daughter. She's now in college. But she ended up cheating on me. I found that out, and then so I divorced her. And during just before COVID started, I started coming out to the Philippines to meet this one girl that I met on a dating site.
Okay.
And fell in love with her. She fell in love with me, allegedly. Her family loved me and all that. So, and I'm self-employed, so I was able to travel out here 8 times in 2019.
Wow.
To see this girl. Now, she had a 2-year-old baby at the time when I first met her.
Okay.
What happened was her boyfriend from high school got her pregnant. She had to drop out of college. He bolted as soon as he found out she was pregnant. He took off, gone. Then, enter me. I noticed that they're so poor they didn't even water at the house. They didn't have electricity there. My girl was sleeping on a dingy, thin mattress on the hard concrete floor, and that broke my heart. So the second time I came out there 2 months later, this is beginning of 2019, I bought her a bed to get her off the floor, her and her sister and her baby.
Nice.
Then the next time I came out, I had water brought to the house. The next time I had electricity brought to the house so they can have a television and a karaoke and all that. She never asked me for anything.
And this was her parents' house, correct?
This is her parents' house, but I mean, it's a shanty, man. When it's raining, they've got like nail holes in the tin roof, and they're putting buckets under there to collect the water. I mean, with no running water, no electricity, you can imagine that kind of condition that they were in.
Yeah, I know a girl like that in Negros. Now, can you give even a vague idea of your age and her age without being exact, or would you like to leave that out?
No, I don't have a problem with that. When I first met her, I was 59, and she was 20.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
And now, I'm, I consider myself, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, but I stay in shape. I'm in good shape.
Right.
Very athletic.
It's cutting out a little bit. I don't know if you moved or something. I lost you for a second. I lost you for a second. I think it cut out a little bit. So you're in shape. You're not a heavy guy. You're 59, but you stay in shape, basically?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
cool.
work out all the time. I run and jog and all that stuff. And I like to explore and all that. So I came out here to visit her, and I would take her places. Every time I came here, I would do something on the house to help them out. In her room, the 2 walls in the corner were like falling apart.
Right.
They were spreading open. They had to put drapes in the corner so people couldn't peek in through the crack there. So I ended up expanding that out 1 meter each, so we'd be able to get the big bed in there and all that, and closed it off and put an air conditioning unit in there. Keep in mind, they didn't have electricity when it first.
And this was all, they never asked for anything. This was all you just being kind to your new girlfriend, essentially, that you had met in person at this point.
Yes, this is true. Absolutely true. And also, I think what happened was when I got cheated on by my ex-wife, and I basically was single. I knew I was coming to the Philippines, so I didn't want to date anybody in California. So I was pretty much alone for all that time. You can imagine being alone and kind of sad and lonely. And then when I came here and met that girl, it completely turned my life completely 180 degrees around. She made me laugh. She made me feel good. She made me feel 25 years old again.
Right.
You know, and we just had a great time. Every time we're together, we had wonderful times. And I swear, could only stay about 2 weeks at a time. Those 8 times I came here that 1 year, and I tell you, every time I'm almost crying when I get on the airplane to come back, because I just didn't even want to come back to California, honestly. So
No, I hear you. And then, so how long were you in an LDR before you first actually met her? From meeting her on the site to chatting to video calls, whatever it was, till your first time landing in the Philippines?
I did not waste any time. I started chatting her in November of 2018.
Yep.
And a week before December 2018, you know, a month and a week later, I was at her in her family's house.
Smart, yeah. Instead of dragging it out forever. And did you send her a lot of money before you met her, or no?
I don't. You know, this was 5.5 years ago. I don't recall if I sent her money. If anything, it was for load.
Okay.
It was nothing crazy like some of these people are doing, sending money when they haven't even met her.
Right. Okay. So it's next to nothing, or load for her phone, but you were not. Yeah, I get it.
The second time I came out to see her in February of 2019, we went to Top's restaurant, and I gave her a promise ring.
Okay.
And I explained to her it's not an engagement ring, but it's a promise ring. It's the next step before an engagement ring. And I told her, I promise to you that I will be faithful to you, and I will keep coming to see you until I can, you know, get on my own and get out here. And so she was so she was so excited she didn't even eat her dinner. She couldn't eat her dinner.
Oh, wow.
We ordered this nice meal, and she couldn't eat it. And there's a funny fact that she went to the bathroom, and I told the waitress, can you put this ring underneath like a container and bring it out after dinner, bring it out before dessert. And they said, oh, yes, sir, yes, sir. So they take the ring. She comes out of the bathroom. They gave us some hors d'oeuvres, and before they brought our meal, they brought the tray and opened it up.
Oh, so they did it the wrong way, and then she was so nervous or so excited that she didn't even eat.
Yeah, they did it that way, which was messed up, but I was hoping that she thought it was our dessert, and then they open it up, and it's a ring. But they open up the lid, and here's this, you could tell it's a ring box, and she says, that's not ours. That's not ours. And I'm like, yes, it is. She's so sweet, you know.
Right. And she was obviously not married to the baby's father. And at this point, there's not a lot of mention of him. It's just, oh, he just ran when I got pregnant. And there was no mention of any contact. You didn't see her, like, texting him or checking in on his baby or anything?
None of that.
Got it.
And her parents hated him because he took off, and this happens all the time. I'm sure you guys have read this, you know, saw the YouTube videos of people. This happens all the time to these young ladies, that the guy ends up taking off when the girl gets pregnant.
I've definitely heard of it before. Definitely, yes.
So her parents hated him for that.
Right.
And then I ended up coming out here. I retired, came out here, got back with her. We were together for a month before I got my motorcycle here. Then her daughter was starting school, and she wanted to stay at the school with her daughter at least for a month or two until she got acclimated. And I told her that, you know, I had planned on traveling to Bantayan Island when I first got here. And she says, you know, I asked her if she wanted to go with me, and she said, no, I got to stay here with my daughter.
What is that, Little Boracay, Bantayan? Don't they call that Little Boracay, or is that a different one?
I think it's a different one.
Okay.
Malapascua Island's up there too. I went to Malapascua.
Okay, and now, how long was there? Were you apart for the entirety of COVID for like multiple years, or what?
We were apart for 2.5 years, and I supported her entire. Her father was a jeepney driver.
Okay.
And he couldn't drive anymore because they didn't allow people, you know, jamming jeepneys anymore. They were disallowed, as far as I understand.
Okay.
It wasn't even his jeepney. He leased it out every day and had to pay the owner.
Yeah.
So he wasn't making much, you know, maybe 600 pesos a day. But he couldn't work, so I mean, I bellied up, and I sent her entire family. She has 3 brothers, 1 sister, a baby, and her mom and dad, 7 total. I would send them 2 payments every 2 weeks to support them for 2 what, 2.5 years or something like that. With
Do you want to give me an approximate amount that you would send every month?
$600.
Got you. Yeah, you can live well on that. A lot of families live on less than that. So did you ever, during that 2.5 year duration, was there ever a period of time where you couldn't get a hold of her? Was there ever any type of red flag that she's perhaps in contact with baby daddy?
There was, you know, it's 2.5 years, so
right.
There were a couple of times where I thought maybe she might have been fooling around, you know,
sure.
But that was just all in my head pretty much. I'm sure a lot of these guys that are doing LDR has this, you know, suspicion.
Of course.
But from what I understand from her friends and neighbors, so. But you know, you can't monitor somebody 24/7. So
yeah, so nothing too crazy. But there was a couple of times when you were a little unsure, but nothing too crazy. But you thought maybe she could be fooling around with someone, or you know, but you weren't really thinking, okay, you know, she's back with the baby daddy, or she's got a new boyfriend, or anything. It was always you would send money every month, and you maintained constant communication.
Yeah, we did FaceTime every day and chatted every day.
Okay.
And I did think, you know, to myself, she's a young girl, and I can't see her. Who knew it was going to take that long?
Right.
After 2 years, I was thinking I may never be able to go to the Philippines.
Exactly.
You know, and how can you keep a young girl from, you know, she's got urges, you know, so.
No, I totally get it. I always tell guys that. Guys always come out here, they do a 2-week millionaire trip, as I call it, and then they think they've got this girl locked in with a chastity belt on. And I say, hold up. You know, this girl met you on a dating site. There's probably 8 other guys coming into town offering Boracay trips and El Nido trips. And you might not be that stunning of a young Brad Pitt. These girls, my girlfriend, you know, likes to be with me all the time. Filipinas need constant attention in person if possible, regardless of whether you're rich or not, or handsome or whatever.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you land here in 2023, finally, to retire, and she wanted to stay at the school, you said? I just wanted to rewind a little bit, but so she wanted to stay at the school, you said?
Well, I told her that I wanted to do something here, you know, in lieu of just locking down and staying in one spot and never traveling. I wanted to do some traveling.
Sure.
You know, we had gone to El Nido before COVID. As a matter of fact, that was the last trip I came here. I took her to her dream vacation in El Nido for 10 days there.
Nice.
And then we had a stopover in Plantation Bay for 3 nights before I left.
Okay.
And came back here, and then of course got locked out.
Right.
But she just maintained that she was waiting for me, and you know, she'll wait forever as long as it takes and all that. So.
Okay.
So I did get back here, got back with her. I said, you know, remember I said I wanted to do some traveling. And she said, you know, her daughter just started school. First year of school, she was a little apprehensive. She said that she wanted to stay with her daughter. I understand that. And I said, well, I'm just gonna travel here, and I'll be back in 3 weeks.
Right.
And lo and behold, I had a problem with one of my phones, the phone that I keep in touch with her.
Mm-hmm.
She's sending me text messages, and I'm sending her messages back. I'm getting her messages, but after about 10 days. About halfway through the trip, about a week and a half, 10 days, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get. She didn't get any of my text messages.
So you think she's ignoring you, but she's not receiving them?
No, because later on she showed me all of her text messages that didn't have a message back, but
right.
On my phone it was saying not delivered.
So you're texting her and it's saying not delivered, and she's texting you and it's not delivering to you as well?
No, I'm getting her text messages.
Okay.
But she's not getting mine, and I'm using this Filipino phone.
Right.
And I don't know if I thought I had a load. I don't know if I'm hers and she's not getting mine. But bottom line is, for about 10 days before I got back, she was not getting my messages, and she's sending me a message. Are you in an accident? I think you're in the hospital. You're not responding. So I sent a message to one of her friends in Negros. Please tell her I'm okay. I'll be home in 10 days.
Okay.
I'm getting her messages.
Right.
She's not getting mine. I'm fine. I get back here 10 days later. I see her at the Casano grocery store down here.
Just randomly ran into her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, not. her friend, I said, where is she? And they said she's down. She took her daughter and her friend and their kid. They're out at this playground for kids.
Okay.
In the store.
Yeah.
Sure enough, they're inside. Looking over at her, and she looked. Her friend and the other kid, and I go to give her a hug, and she backs off like, whoa. And I go, whoa, what's that? You know? And she goes, you think everything's the same? And I go, what do you mean? She goes, I didn't hear from you for 10 days. I said, didn't your girlfriend send you the message that I'm okay and I'll be home in 10 days?
Right.
And she said, no. She said, no, she never received that message.
Okay.
So, I don't know if she was doing, I thought she was doing this tampo thing on me, like she's mad that I didn't get a hold of her, but
right.
Then I tried going to her house and she's totally cold, and then I found out baby daddy came back.
Wait, what do you mean? So you saw her at the store because someone told you she'd be there. You went to give her a hug and she was all backed off like you didn't talk to me for 10 days. And then it was awkward as hell and you went your separate ways?
It was very awkward and I just kind of left. So I'll text you later.
Okay, and then you showed up at her house.
Well, I showed up at her house and her parents said she's at the PlayStation down there at Casano.
Okay.
And so I went down there, and that's when I saw her. And they came out. We went over to get something to drink, and she said, "You know, I'm trying to get close to her, and she's cold to me." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't understand what's going on here." So little did I know, she was already back with this guy.
The baby daddy.
I was only gone 2 weeks, so she's back with this.
And was there any time that you spent with her when you retired here before you went on your traveling where it was all good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We spent a whole month together.
Got it.
In an apartment complex in Mandawi City. Yes.
Got it. Okay, so you spent time with her. Okay, I see. I see.
And we did things. We went places. We went for sushi. We went to a carnival. We did lots of things together. Come back to her house to see her baby. You know, well, it's not a baby anymore. She's 6.5 years old. But come back to see her and stuff like that. And then, of course, the school started, and I took off, and that was the end of that.
And so during the month that you spent in Mandawi, there was no type of, you caught her texting baby daddy or baby daddy's calling at 3 a.m. or anything?
Nope.
Got it.
It was
Got it.
awesome. It was an awesome time. That's the longest time that I was physically with her at any given time in the last 5.5 years.
Right.
I rented that place for 1 month, and I told her, when this month is up, I'm going to Bantayan, and you're taking your daughter to the school.
Right.
Okay, no problem. So last day, I pack up, I take her to her mom and dad's house, give her a big kiss and a hug, and say, I'll be back in 3 weeks. And next thing I come back, and she's gone after 5.5 years of a relationship invested.
And she was cool with you traveling. She wasn't like, don't go travel. What are you doing? You need to stay or get a place by the school or something.
I told her I was thinking about starting a blog, and she says, I don't want you to be a blogger and all that. And I said, well, I had planned on going to these islands, a long time ago, and you're going to be hunkered down with your daughter, and we weren't even engaged at this time,
Right.
And she even told me later after the fact, she said, you didn't even put a ring on me. And I said, you have the promise ring, and I was going to propose to her in December on the same day that I first met her 5 years earlier. I was going to propose to her on December 23rd, exactly 5 years from the day that I met her.
Got it.
But by October, she was already gone to this other guy.
So when you saw her and you went to have a drink, she was cold to you and backed off, and she said, I'm with my baby daddy.
No. She didn't even say anything about that. She said, you just think everything could be cool because you never send me any messages? And said, well, here's the thing. The first thing I thought is I told her friend on the other island, please make sure, tell her that I'm okay and all this. Well, she never sent that message to her.
Got it.
She never sent it because this girl, my girl, showed me on her phone. She goes, she never sent me any message. Now, I know the other girl's very busy. She has a baby of her own. She's got 2 jobs. But that's really no excuse. And I keep wondering if she would have sent the message if I still have my girl. But she said, I thought you disappeared with another girl because I didn't hear from you anymore.
Yeah, Filipinas are very jealous. But so how, okay, so you meet her, you have a drink, and she goes, everything's not the same, and she's cold and backed off, and then you awkwardly go away again?
Well, I had left the place because it was very awkward for me to be there. I'm trying to talk to her and stuff, and she's just talking to her friend, and she's giving me the cold eye. So I'm like, look, I'm going to go. I'll text you later. And I text her later, and I never got a response. I didn't get a response till like the next day.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I'm like, wow, this is really weird.
Right.
And she goes, look, I'm going to have to think about this because you disappeared on me, and you never texted me back. And I said, I did text you back, but on my phone it said not delivered, and I told your friend to tell you, and apparently she never told you that. So then a month or two goes by. She's still with this guy. She says she's observing him to see how it goes.
I don't understand. When did she break the news that she's with a guy? Because you're saying she didn't mention it at a certain point. She just said it's not going to be the same, and you didn't text me. I thought you went off with someone else. When did she? Was it face to face? Was it?
Her neighbor told me.
Okay, so she was just saying, it's not going to be the same, I'm backed off, I'm cold, and she brought a friend to have the drink and was just talking to the friend and kind of ignoring you, and then she had never admitted, hey, I'm back with somebody, I have a new guy, whatever, and then somehow you were speaking to a neighbor, and the neighbor said, just so you know, she's with her Filipino baby daddy.
Yep. Yes, I was texting my neighbor. As a matter of fact, her neighbor is such a good friend of mine. I've known him also for the same amount of time. They're next door neighbors, and he's the one that I shipped all my boxes to. He accepted all my boxes of all my stuff that I shipped to him.
A Filipino guy?
He sent me a text message and said, Rob, so and so is back with her.
Okay. Got it.
And I go, what do you mean? Is he just visiting the
baby,
the daughter?
Yeah.
He said no, he's living there now at their house.
He's living in the house that you put electricity and water and bought a bed for.
Yeah, I did a lot more than that.
Right.
But,
holy shit.
Yeah, he's in there, and we've all heard these stories before where a guy, puts money and buys a house or something like that, and then the girl, changes the locks and tells him to get lost. Now, I don't think this girl thought this was going to happen. If that guy never showed up, we probably would be okay. But the one thing I thought about Jasper is he was her first love.
Right.
He was her knight in shining armor. All Google-eyed when she's a young girl, 16, 17 years old.
Yep.
I think they dated in high school for 2 years. That was her dream guy, and he left her, and you know what that does to a girl.
Alpha widow, it's the one that got away.
Completely crushes her heart, makes her heart broken, and she's yearning for him for all. This is what I'm thinking.
Sure.
Yearning for this guy. Oh my God, I of course, you always want the one that leaves you.
The one that you can't have. That's correct.
If you're with a girl and it's like blasé, it's okay, I'm just hanging out with this girl, and then she leaves you, you're like, oh my God, no, please.
Right.
Don't leave me.
If you leave her, you're okay. But if she leaves you, you're thinking about her every night.
So he left her, and I just thought that it's like, oh my God, he's a knight in shining armor coming riding back to save her.
Right.
And of course, to make the complete family with the real father and the daughter. But I just don't understand it because she had a much better life with me than this part-time guy. I mean, he's basically part-time worker, and she does some live streaming, so she actually makes more money than this guy. And the guy really should be making more money than, I guess, the woman, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that, though. But okay, so she does live streaming, and she's making more than X amount of dollars a day or whatever. But this guy is a Filipino, and this guy is probably within her age group.
Yeah, but he dropped out of high school in 10th grade.
Got you. So now, all of a sudden, your text messages aren't going through for a short period of time. You could probably prove it to her on your phone. I don't know whether you did that or not. And she showed you her phone that she was trying to this and that. And all of a sudden, 10 days changes her whole future and flushes 5.5 years down the toilet. A lot of really time invested on your part and money, even though you didn't lose your entire net worth or anything. But yeah, that seems a bit weird that it couldn't be fixed or that you can be replaced when she was so excited when you gave her the ring at dinner and she could, you know, barely eat or anything. And it seems like the perfect love story. But then all of a sudden, the idea of a complete family and the one that got away, and yes, being the same age and being the same culture, completely erased 5.5 years, all the money spent, all the improvements done to the home, all of the plans for the future, you retiring early or retiring or whatever you did. Yeah, that seems like, I don't know. I couldn't imagine if everything would just be perfect if that trip to Bantayan had never happened, and that, you know, he would have came back. Say there was no Bantayan trip and you stayed in Mandanu or wherever you were in Cebu, and then he came reaching out, or he's on Facebook Messenger or reaching out to her sister or brother, or somehow gets in contact with her. I wonder how that would have shook out had you not gone away and not had load or whatever the hell happened with the communication breakdown.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I think honestly, maybe she would have stayed with me, because that guy is a risk for her, because he left her once before. I even told her, I mean, because after they got back together, and he works, you know, from the afternoon until late night, and I've met up over at her house and talked to her and her parents and stuff, and I said, look, you know what? This guy's going to get you pregnant again, and he's going to leave.
Right.
That's my feeling. He's going to bolt on you.
Right.
And she kept telling me that she's observing him. I'm observing him. Well, she started observing him in October, and here we are in June now, 8.5 months later. So obviously, I'm not going back to her because she can't be trusted anymore. I mean, you know, even if he dumped her, and her friend, you know, reaches out to me, oh my God, she's crying every night because he left her again, Rob, and you know, she wants you back. There's no way. I can't trust somebody like that.
She threw you away over a communication breakdown that you can prove was legitimate. And I don't know how much she's making live streaming, but yeah, if he dumps her or he cheats on her, or she misses the El Nido trips and the home improvements, and basically as foreigners, we can do whatever we want, whenever we want, most of us, I would not go back no matter what.
Right. Absolutely.
I just don't see a way, because you were only had like 10 days or 20 days or whatever the hell it was of miscommunication, and for her to be that cold, obviously he had entered back into the picture. If you just have a phone problem with a girl that you've been with for over 5 years or 4 years or whatever, and you weren't with another woman, and you're back and you're ready to finance everything and put her back on the pedestal and this and that, and then she's won't even give you a hug and talking to her friend and acting like you're nothing, clearly, if something bad happens, which it probably could at some point, whether it's in a month from now or 2 years from now, I would say, you know, fool me once, you know, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I don't think you could ever trust someone again once they just discarded you like yesterday's trash after all the shit that you did.
Well, exactly. It's really scary now, because we were pretty solid, regardless of what anybody says. We are compatible in everything, from the bedroom to going out, making each other laugh and feel good, always smiling and just carefree. It was a perfect relationship until this happened. And I thought about this a lot. You know, after a month or two, I thought maybe I might take her back. But after this long now, it's like, if I take her back and I'm with her, let's say he leaves her, and I take her back and I'm with her for 2-3 years, and then he shows up again. She'll
drop you again. She'll drop you again. Yeah. That's exactly what I was cautioning in the video. Complete family is everything. He'll always be the baby daddy. He'll always be 30 years younger, whatever. And this girl is now in her late 20s and is making more money than him doing live streams.
She's 25. She'll be 26 in October.
All right. Well, you know what I mean. She's not a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, whatever the hell. She's not. She's, well, you know, 7 years as an adult, whatever, 8 years.
I was going to pay for her to get her college degree, because, you know, you really should have that. Whether I'm here or not, you should still have a college degree, because then you could get a decent job almost anywhere.
Right.
But without that, you have to work like this guy and lesser money and contract pay with, maybe work 6 months and then go look for another job, just bounce from job to job. Now, she does this live streaming thing, which is great for a young girl.
Right.
But I told her, I said, what happens when you're 30? Nobody's going to want to watch some, 30-year-old girl bouncing around on her bed when there's 18, 19, 20-year-olds doing the same thing that you're doing. New fresh crop coming in every year. You're going to be old hat, and your revenue, what are you making? I think she said 500, 600 pesos a day. That is going to disappear down to nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Exactly. Guys come to my channel for information, but they go to these Filipina channels to look at them, not to find out about how to get a visa or how to get an airplane flight or where to get an apartment in BGC or something. So a lot of these girls that are doing live streams on any platform, whatever little money they're making, when they're 35 years old, they're going to rather tune into the 18-year-old in short shorts.
Right. I mean, absolutely. And I said, you're not going to have a college degree. She'll never pay for that. They're living paycheck to paycheck, peso to peso, on a daily basis. They don't have any money to save. She always said she wanted to go to Siargao, check that place out, go to Coron. She even had a dream of going to Korea.
Right.
And I told her, you just dashed all your dreams. I could have taken you to these places. You just dashed all your dreams. First of all, you wanted to go by yourself, and now you got baby daddy and your daughter. You can't. You're never going to be able to afford those trips ever. So,
wow.
He just killed all that off. You're going to be living with a part-time, working guy. When your live stream ends, I said, what are you gonna do then? You're gonna wash other people's underwears until you're 80 years old?
Oh, Jesus.
Is that going to be that's going to be your new job?
You're harsh. You're harsh, bro.
Well, the problem is with these people, no offense really, but they don't think past tomorrow, man. She's not looking at when she's 30, 32. Oh my God, I'm making nothing on my live stream. I gotta clean houses, or I gotta wash laundry, or something like that.
Yeah, you must have a college degree in the Philippines to do anything. To be a goddamn Jollibee cashier, you need a college degree.
Absolutely.
You are correct.
Absolutely.
It's not like America where you can fucking make an app or become a big YouTuber or something. It's less than likely that you're going to make six figures, or by Philippine standards, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 a month with no college degree. And right now she's just thinking, living in the moment day to day, like a lot of Filipinos and Filipinas do. And she's thinking, I got him back. I got the guy back. Now, one more question for you, because this is getting turned into a long video. When was the last time you spoke with her, did one of these visits with her parents' house or whatever, talking?
The last time was about, I want to say about 2 months ago.
Okay, got you. And does she keep in contact with you at all, even as a friend, or does she hit you up for cash?
No, no, she doesn't hit me up for cash.
I'm just checking. Maybe you're being kind still.
I am still connected to a couple of her friends, but nobody
Sure.
else. Nestor, her neighbor, but I told Nestor, I don't want to know anything that's going on with her. I don't want to know what's going on. Don't see, don't show, don't tell, whatever. Don't tell me anything about it. I don't want to know. And just to let you know, I spent about a total of $30,000 over the last 5.5 years traveling there from Los Angeles to Cebu 8 times. The vacations, the foods, the hotels, the excursions. That came out to about $30,000, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I have zero regrets. No regrets. That girl, she put me on a path of a new life. I have to thank her for that. I have nothing bad to say to her other than she just made a foolish mistake by going back to that other person. She doesn't think she did, but that's her own opinion. But like I said, I've got no regrets, and I know I can move on from this, and I'm not complaining about it. I know there'll be some people saying, oh, you shouldn't have done that, shouldn't have. Well, I did everything by the book. I watched hundreds, if not thousands, of YouTube videos before I ever came over here.
Right.
I've been here 11 times. I was married to a Filipina for 18 years. I have a lot of background, in all this, but it still came back to bite me. And
Yeah.
all I can do is I just kind of laugh it off. I'm like, wow. And I'm a lot more cautious now because I had this girl in the palm of my hand and she's gone. So now I'm like, wow, what's going to happen on the next one? I got to be really, really careful. And I think everybody else, all you viewers, actually need to be very cautious and careful with the person that they're with, especially if they're getting and all that. But
Exactly. It's, you know, it's the complete family that I described in the video. And, you know, it was an extreme age gap. Whether that mattered or not, we don't know. But yeah, you got to be cautious with these girls, especially if they have a Filipino baby daddy, not a foreigner, not a guy that passed away, God forbid, or not a, you know, whatever. But if they have a Filipino baby daddy that may or may not be keeping an eye on all the things that you're buying or improvements you're making to homes, if you buy a vehicle or a big house, God forbid, it sounds like you're very financially stable. You didn't leave the Philippines all burned and, oh, all Filipinas are bad. You were married to another Filipina for 18 years. You said that you're, you know, 30 grand is nothing to a foreigner over that time span, to be brutally honest. And you had said that you make good money every day, not even having to work. So I think financially you're whole. And you don't seem particularly like, you know, you're staying in bed all day depressed. It sounds like it was just a lesson learned and it could have happened to anyone. And it was the best 6 years of your life is what you said. So no regrets, right?
yeah, no regrets, but don't get me wrong, for at least 4 or 5 weeks, I was pretty like stunned, you know, and not feeling well. Just like, I just can't believe this happened to me. And it's like, I'm scared. I'm like, what am I going to do now? What about the next girl? I got to be super cautious going, trying this again. I mean, almost 6 years of a relationship disappears like that. It's like, what's going to happen in the next 6 years? So that just got to be really cautious going forward. But it was a lot of pain there for about 5 weeks, you know, but it's gone now.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, you're the prize out here. You know, if you're a Western guy that has money and you're fit and you sound like you're a good talker and you sound like a guy that's a regular dude, not some creep coming over here. And I guess it was a 39-year age gap and you had a genuine good relationship and it kind of brought you back to feeling like you were 25 and it probably helped her a lot financially and maybe you were the perfect couple. I didn't see you guys together, but I mean, in the end, you got to always worry about a single mother with a Filipino baby daddy because like I had said in that video, complete family. And this is exactly what I articulated in that video. And the video about your comment got double the views of the original video about be careful of single moms. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I would just move forward with caution. And have you ever considered maybe dating a girl in her 30s or something this time?
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. I don't leave any age out of the question. I mean, when I first came here, I met 3 girls. She was one of the 3 girls that I had met when I first came here.
Right.
But she and I just clicked. I met her at a SM store.
Uh-huh.
We met at the food court, and she was so playful. I'm trying to text her. My phone didn't work. I had to borrow a manager's phone and text her, and she said, "Is that you with the California shirt on?" I'm like, "Where are you? Where are you? I'm going to give you all your chocolates to this boy over here." And she's just, you know, she was just so playful from the very great. I wish I could find another girl, but without this wishy-washy, you know, thing with the ex-boyfriend thing. But I hope it works out for them, really, you know, for their daughter's sake anyway. I hope everything works out for them. But
yeah, complete family is everything to these Filipinas. And really, if you harbor resentment or anger towards her, it's just going to eat at you. And I mean, realistically, it sounds like you are able to stay here still. It didn't sour you on the Philippines completely because you're still here. So, I mean, it sounds like you should just wish them the best. And I would completely make a clean break. Like, I wouldn't do any more visits or talking to her at this point. I would just move forward and cautiously date, either try to find someone with no children or maybe a woman, you know, like late 30s that their children are already grown or something. So there's no chance of the complete family raising the young child together, killing your whole situation.
Yeah, no, you're right on spot with that. But I rented this 2-story, 3-bedroom, 3CR, beautiful house, 1.5 kilometers from her parents' house, close to her daughter's school. I rented this right before I took off to Bantayan Island.
Right.
And I tried to get her to come look at the house. I go, come look at your house here. This is, if we like these houses, we can buy them. You can lease to buy.
Right.
It's so quiet here and nice. And she never came here. I finally got her after about 4 months to come here with her friends to see the house. And she thought it was really nice. But I said, you can live like this instead of, back in that shanty of your, I didn't say it like that, but,
But she was already with baby daddy at this point, right?
Yep. I've seen her multiple times when she's been with the baby daddy. And we went to lunch one time. She came here with her friends. And then I told her other friend, I said, look, I don't think it's right that I see her because she's quiet. I said, because I wouldn't want to be that guy at work and have her ex-boyfriend coming around taking her to lunch and stuff. I said, you know what? I'm going to stop doing that because it's not right.
So you took him to lunch?
No.
Okay. So have you and him ever had any interactions whatsoever? Said hello, anything?
No, I was down at the convenience. There's a little convenience store here. It's like a large sorry store. You can order food and stuff. And I was there. They have a karaoke machine that's down by my house here. And, and her and him showed up. They showed up to get some
food,
shomai or something, there.
Yeah.
And I was kind of stunned to see them, but he looked at me and just kind of nodded his head. But
right.
He's a little guy, he's a punk. I think she's even taller than him, but anyway.
Man, that is crazy. So you're living close by in this big house, and you did bring her over, and she brought a friend to show her how she could be living. But now at this point, since it's been so long, you've just accepted that ship has sailed. And even if she contacted you tomorrow, you would say, I just can't do it. You got to protect yourself here.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually in the process of
moving.
I've seen her. I've seen her at the Gaisano grocery store, and then she even said, told her friend, and her friend texted me and said she saw you at the store. I said, well, why didn't you just say hi to me? Oh, she was with the guy. Oh, okay.
Got you.
But I'm in the process right now, Jasper, of packing up my stuff. I have 8 large boxes. I'm going to pack up all my stuff here. I've been packing it up, and I'm going to probably bolt out of this place and probably within the next 2 months, and I'm planning to move over to Negros. I'm going to go over there, find a place. I'd like to find a place on the beach if I can, and I'm going to put all this stuff in storage, go find a place, secure it, and then come back and get a truck and haul all my stuff to another island, get away from this place.
Exactly. Make a clean break. Do you have any final words for the video? This is going to be like a 45-minute video. Hopefully people will sit through this. But it's nice to hear the actual story from the horse's mouth rather than a 10-minute video of me reading your comment. Do you have anything else that you want to say? Everybody's saying, oh, this guy, this and that. I think everybody's a genius and everybody doesn't give anybody a penny. I think a lot of guys are fooling themselves, and a lot of guys have done this and bought a house and a car and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I know there's going to be some people that say, oh, that would never happen to me. Well,
exactly.
Come on now. Like I said, I've watched thousands of videos. I know about all the red flags and stuff. She didn't present any red flags per se, the entire relationship. Her parents knew that I was going to marry her, all that. Everybody loved me. And when I even talked to her sister, I said, what is she doing? Why is she with that guy? And she says, you know what? She has her own life, and I don't interfere. If that's what she wants, I have to go with it. Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, and we've seen this story many a time on many a YouTube channel and in real life if you live in the Philippines. And guys have got it a lot worse to where they didn't really have any real wealth. And they spent $100 grand, they bought a house, they did that, they started a business for the brother, whatever, and then they were told to go sleep on the beach. So you didn't really make out that bad. And I do suggest that you move to another island and start completely fresh rather than being neighbors or visiting or showing her the house or anything. I suggest you put it out of your head and move to Negros, like you said, get a place on the beach and just start clean slate, but proceed with caution.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm going to do. One last thing I forgot to mention. During COVID, her father got stabbed in the head.
Jesus.
He lost a lot of blood, and they rushed him off to the hospital. She sent me pictures. I sent them money because they don't have money.
Right.
I sent them money to get him patched up, he even showed me the big scar when I got back here, when I came here last year to finally move here and retire.
Right.
And also, just before I came here a year ago, December, her mother came down with cancer.
Oh my God.
And she was battling that, and they didn't have any money for that either. So I paid for the chemotherapy and all that, you know, a few thousand here, a few thousand there, you know. So I basically saved her mom and her dad. And I even told her friend, I said, listen, you know what? You know what I did for her mom and dad. I said, what's going to happen when they have another emergency? They better not be running to me, because it's that man, that boy that she went with. He's responsible, not me. I'm not responsible anymore for any of that. If somebody ends up with a knife in their back, you know, God forbid he's got to pay for any of that because he doesn't have money to do it. But I'm done.
I understand, and that was kind of you to do that, but let's not, you know, it was all predicated on the fact that you were going to marry her and that you were together. But, you know, I mean, I guess just hopefully wish them the best. The best thing that you could do right now is let go of it and wish them the best. He is the baby's father, and you know what? Maybe in a year from now, you'll be with a girl that's an even better fit for you, that isn't going to do this to you, or doesn't have a baby's father, or is maybe a little bit more age appropriate, or whatever the hell. And you'll look back at this and go, you know what? It was still a great damn 6 years.
Well, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. So you know, God bless her for at least letting me into her life. And I even told her that. I said, you know, I have no regrets, and thank you for showing me how to love again, you know.
Exactly. It brought you back to feeling like you were 25. You said in your comment, it was the best 6 years of my life. And it got you to the Philippines, and you're not leaving all burned like, oh, Filipinos are all bad. You already had another Filipino for triple that amount of time in person the whole time. You know how great Filipinas can be. And sometimes, you know, I guess all women in general can be a bit ruthless, especially when it comes to that one that got away. But it could happen to any of us. And let's end the video on a positive note. But I really appreciate you sharing your story. Let me hit, all right, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Maybe I'll try to bring more stories like this in the future if people are kind enough to share from the horse's mouth. And catch you on the next one.